Hoodies. Love them or hate them, they're everywhere.
But what if I told you they've been British icons for a lot longer than you think? Almost 2,000 years ago, Diocletian tried to control rampant inflation by creating a list of maximum prices for various goods. And in this he included the Birrus Britannicus. Now this is not necessarily a unique item. Many other Celtic groups are listed as making these, and the Britannicus is about middle of the road for cost. However, something about this cloak made it an icon for Britannia. This statuette from Chelmsford shows a hunter wearing a hooded cloak pulled back over his shoulder while he works. This is probably the Birrus Britannicus, a full-length cloak designed to protect you from the cold, wet British weather. It had a distinctive peaked top and would have retained the lanolin from the raw wool, a natural wax which would make the cloak waterproof. When it's not raining, the cloak could be thrown back over the shoulders to make it breathable and give you some more space to do your work. Just as good as Gore-Tex, and I think it's pretty trendy. They could make these in a variety of colours and patterns. Pliny tells us the Gauls invented checkered clothing, and the Gerran cloak from Sweden shows a houndstooth pattern over 2,000 years old. It could then be both practical and fashionable. But what seems to make the Birrus special was its place in Britannic culture. Firstly, they had a religious relevance that would make them almost sacred. The genius cucullatus, or cloaked deity, was common across Celtic religions, but seems to be distinct in Britain, and have a special place for the Britanni. They often appeared as a group of three, with ambiguous or fluid genders, and they could carry eggs or other fertility items. This would naturally imbue the Birrus with a cultural significance possibly related to fertility, which would make sense if it was a garment that farmers and hunters wore. This statuette has a male and female cow ploughing together. This was unusual, and may either have connotations of fertility, or could be part of the ritual for marking the bounds of a city. Either way, this object had ritual significance, and so it's unsurprising to see the Birrus being worn. It is not just important for ritual. When Romans thought of Britain, they thought of the Birrus. Quite literally, in some cases. When Hadrian and Antoninus Pius put Britannia on coinage, the earliest depictions we have of Britannia, it seems that she has a Birrus slung over her shoulders. Britain and its iconic clothing. If you've been to Chedworth Villa, you'll know that the Mosaic of Winter has one of these cloaks, included by the owner perhaps as a stake of their Britannic heritage, to show others, and remind themselves, that they have not become entirely Roman. Much like the hoodie today, this was not a garment unique to Britain, nor did Britain necessarily make the best versions. However, the cultural significance of the Birrus amongst British people made it an icon of the island, such that even recently, when the Chelmsford statuette was going to be exported, there was a campaign to save it, and led to a push to change UK law. What people valued tells us a lot about the people themselves, that a piece of clothing designed to let you work even in tough conditions, that could be exported and appreciated abroad, and was so important it gained religious and cultural significance, tells us a lot about what was important to the British people living 2,000 years ago. What do you think your choices of clothing might tell an archaeologist in 2,000 years' time?